Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial on Eka Pada Bakasana, the single leg crane. In this tutorial, I'll be breaking down the different variations, so from the Vinyasa style to the Ashtanga Vinyasa style. And I'm going to break it down from the beginner level all the way through to the advanced level. This is a very fun but also very challenging posture, so let's get into it. Want to make sure your wrists are already warmed up, but if you want to, you could just do a little warm up with me here. Just do a quick basic one, just a few wrist circles. As you go forward, bringing the shoulders over the fingertips and gripping the floor in that spider grip. A few times in each direction. You can start to create the shape of Eka Pada Bakasana with the posterior tilt, ribs in, shoulder blades depressed and shoulder blades spread. So protraction and depression of the scapula. I've turned the hands out now. Just do a few circles each direction. And then turning the fingers back. And then you can sit back down towards your heels, feeling an opening angle stretch through the forearms. You can start to press the fingertips down into the floor. And just a quick isometric stretch here, and then from there switching to active stretch by trying to lift the top of the hand towards the forearm until your fingertips float off the floor, leaning forward, and then relax and shake it out. Okay, for Eka Pada Bakasana, we need to make sure we have a solid Bakasana or Kakasana, so we need a solid crane or crow. It can also be done from the frog stand, so we'll look at all those variations. All right, so if we look at it from, let's look from the crane. So knees high up into the armpits. Start with external rotation. So we have Bakasana. Then we're going to do an extension, so we're just going to straighten one leg out behind. And come back in, and then, straighten the other leg. And come back in. Okay, so for the moment, I'm not thinking too much about going high with the back leg. I'm just trying to build more strength and familiarity with the position of one leg into the armpit there. So that's one variation. My arms, I was keeping a little bit bent. I was leaning a little forward. And this is the way you'll see it a lot in a Vinyasa class. So they actually do it more from the crow position. So the knees going to be on top of the elbows in this bent arm position, like this. And then from there, straightening the leg. Come in and then straighten the other side. Okay, so even doing this can be a great exercise if you did 3 reps on each leg and do that 3 times. So 3 reps on each leg is 1 set. Take a rest, 30 seconds or so, and then repeat. Do it again. We can also do it with arms straight. So if we do the straight arm crane like this, and then straighten the leg. Come in, straight arms. Yeah. So even that was much harder with the arms fully straight. Even I fell down on the second side. Okay, so with fully straight arms, which is what was kind of the standard in Ashtanga Vinyasa, is really very, very challenging, and not many people can do it with fully locked out straight arms. So in the beginning, I recommend doing it with the elbows a little bit bent. Also, one thing to remember with the crow, the crane, so etc., is the more you straighten your arms, the more your shoulders go forward, which requires a lot more out of the wrist, a lot more wrist extension. So it's a lot heavier on the wrist. When you bend the elbows, your shoulders don't go so far forward and it's less pressure on the wrist. Okay, the next progression is from a downward dog. So from your downward dog, you're going to wrap the elbows in, knee to chest, take the knee to the elbow and lift up. And then go back to the downward dog. So this is the variation you would see more in a Vinyasa class, not so much in an Ashtanga Vinyasa class, but it's a nice way for Ashtangis to start learning how to do it. So we go here and then lift. The other variation that is sometimes used by Ashtangis is a kind of a frog stand variation. So the knees are on the outside of the armpits, and then there's a kind of a pushing down with the bent leg as there's the pushing up with the straight leg. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So we're on the outside and then pushing down like this. So the bent leg kicks down and the other leg extends. I'm starting to sweat a lot now, so I'm getting a bit slippery. So then the next progression is to go from the headstand, the tripod headstand. And you could do tripod headstand into Bakasana and then extend one leg. So like this, or actually the way we do it in Ashtanga is we go directly into the headstand. When you go into the headstand, you can really start to build more strength. So it's almost like doing a pike push-up. So you start with your feet pretty close to your hands, wrap the elbows in, take the head to the floor, then lift up. So then you can come into Bakasana, lean back, so you get that feeling of leaning back, and then shift straight on one leg and come in. Okay, so that could be one variation of how to approach it. Otherwise, the way that we do it is to go directly from the headstand, bring one leg in, and use that other leg, trying to keep it as high as possible. So when you lift up, you can use that leg, the hamstring of that leg and the hip, the glute of that leg to make the pose feel lighter. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. So again, starting like a pike push-up, coming in, floating up. Then we bring that leg in. So either into the armpit or wherever, if you're doing crow or crane. And then the top leg, once you want to try to keep it up high. Before you lift up, ribs in, engage through the lats. Lean back and then push. Come up. Okay. For now, I was not pushing fully. On the next one, I'll show you what that will look like. So really pushing and trying to get the arms as straight as possible. Okay, so let's have a look at that one. So like our pike push-up. And what you can do as you do this pike push-up is as the head goes to the floor, the feet float up. So here, float up. Coming in. So as I come in, I wrap the elbows in so I can get that knee into a good spot into the armpit. Top leg active, ribs in, set the shoulders, and then lift and push. Push, push, push. Arms straight. And then down. So to get the arms fully straight then, actually, my knee ended up floating off my armpit a little bit. So this is The next way to go into it would be from a handstand. So I'll show you quickly. If you can, you'd go handstand. Then bend the knee, ribs in, and then lean forward. Try to touch. Yes. And you know, that's kind of like the end range for me. I was right at the end there. So obviously it's a more advanced technique and not necessary, but fun to try if you like. Otherwise, you stick to the progression that I've showed you, and yeah, make sure that you can master each stage. Okay, so just recapping, you want to make sure that you can do from Bakasana the extensions, either from Bakasana, the crow, the crane, or the frog stand. Then from there, make sure that you can go from downward dog and lift up. Then from there, headstand, lifting up. And then eventually headstand going directly into the position. And then I'll just show you one more time. So if we go into the headstand and then coming in and out of the headstand, so we go like a pipe push up, go up, do the other side this time. So up, push, almost as straight as possible. And then set down, and then go back to the headstand. And then as you come out of the headstand, bring the feet down low, and then dynamically lift up. Go to Chaturanga. That's Eka Pada Bakasana. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to go much deeper into the practice and go into much more detail, looking at all the prerequisites for range of motion for every single posture, all the progressions and regressions and accessory exercises for every pose, then join my membership, Ashtanga Decoded. Check out the details in the caption, and I look forward to seeing you in the membership.